service students. Today you'll be able to say, this is Mr. Lawrence here, sorry, I can solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Alright, let's get down to it. Remember the quadratic formula, you should know it pretty well by now. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, and we're just going to get down to this. When we solve, we want y to be 0. So the first thing I'm going to do is set y equal to 0 in problem 1, and I'm going to solve this. Now, it's not linear. I'm going to solve using the quadratic formula. So I'm just going to go a equal ab, c, easy as one, negative 4, 7, and then I will go to the quadratic formula. X equals 4 plus or minus square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 7, and that'll all be over 2a, right? Okay, going to do a little simplifying, and I'm going to get a 16 minus 28 all over 2. Now, 16 minus 28 is the same as negative 12. That should bug you very, very much. My discriminant is negative 12. My discriminant is less than 0. This problem here has no solution. Now, I'm not actually graphing, I'm just trying to solve the quadratic. Alright, so in this case there is no solution. Alright, let's go on to problem 2. Set y equal to 0. 6x squared plus 5x minus 8. Look for a, b, and c. It'll be easy as 6, 5, negative 8. And if you want, you can check the discriminant first to make sure they're solutions before you do any other work. That's what we were doing on the graphing problems, where we're just solving. It's not quite as imperative, but there's nothing wrong with doing it. So I can do my discriminant, 5 squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 8. And this is going to end up being a positive discriminant. I can tell because I'm going to have a negative 4 times negative 8. I don't know. Let's see. What's that? 32? It's off my head here. If I did 32 times 6, looks like it's going to end in an 8. Carry the 198, I believe that'll be. And if I add those together, I think it's going to be 223. So that's my discriminant. Now, I'm not done with the problem. That's just my discriminant. So now I still have to go x equals the negative of b plus or minus the square root of 223 all over 12. Well, it's the same as negative 5 plus or minus. It's going to be over 12, and I'll have to crunch the square root of 223. It's going to be pretty close to 15, pretty like 14.85, 14.9, because 15 squared is 225. Yeah, 14.93 to be more accurate. And so that's going to equal negative 19.93 divided by 12. And it's also going to equal 9.93 divided by 12. And so my two solutions, yeah, I did that right. Felt like I had a mistake there. Negative 19.93 divided by 12 is going to come out to be about negative 1.66. And then if I do 9.93 divided by 12, I get 0.8 to about 0.83. So my two solutions here, I'm going to write them over here. X is approximately equal to negative 0.66 and 0.83. All right, let's look at two more examples and then we'll wrap this video up. Again, I make y equal to 0. and then I look for A, B, C, and in this case it'll be easy as 1, 12, 1. I don't think I'm going to go looking for the discriminant because I know I'm not supposed to graph, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to right to the quadratic formula. X is going to equal the negative of b plus or minus square root. B squared is 144. Skipped a little step there. Minus 4 times 1 times 1. That's all going to be over 2. So x is going to equal negative 12 plus or minus square root of 140 over 2. X is going to equal negative 12 plus or minus square root of 140. It's going to be high 11s, like 11.89 or something like that. But I'll crunch it just to be sure. 11.83. Okay, so 11.83. We're going to divide by 2. And so my two solutions are going to be, sorry about that. Is that going to be 11.83? Uh-oh, I changed colors. Divide by 2. And then the other one we'll get from doing this. So I'll crunch those on my calculator. Oops, negative 12 minus 11.83 divided by 2. And I'm going to get negative 11.915. And then on this other one, we're going to get negative 12 plus 11.83. I'll divide by 2 and get a negative 0. Oops, wrong mistake there. Negative 0.085. Okay, and so there are my two solutions. X is approximately equal to both of those. All right, last problem here. So again, we make y equal to 0. Negative 4x squared plus 2x minus 9. A is going to A, B, C. Easy as negative 4 to negative 9. Okay. X is going to equal negative 2 plus or minus square root of 4 minus 4 times negative 4, negative 9. I believe I'm onto a no solution problem for this one, for negative a. Let's see if I'm right. Negative 2 plus or minus 4, and that's going to be 16 minus 9. I think that's a negative 256. Yep, that's going to be no solution because what's going to happen is I'm going to get this negative 2 plus or minus, and underneath the square root, I'm going to have a negative 252. And you can't take the square root of a negative. So this is another example of no solution. Okay, now just because we can't solve doesn't mean we couldn't graph the equation. It would be an upside down parabola, and it would not cross the x-axis, so the vertex would be below the x-axis. All right, now I guess that's it. It's really pretty simple. We're just solving. Remember, they're not linear, so we have to use the quadratic formula to solve them. All right, Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.